tiny headaches up in this bitch. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another Cafe Talk. I have a tiny headache. I sung a song about it before we started recording. That's why Victor's laughing.
It was. I gotta be honest with you, y'all. It slapped. All right, Jonas is gonna drop his debut album, and I was telling him he should make that into a song.
It's gonna be called not a full headache, but
in parentheses, tiny headache.
Exactly. It is. How's it going, Victor? How you doing this week?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, I was fortunate enough to work 5 days out of this week, so you know, I got back into the rhythm of being a working man, and you know, it feels good. It feels good to not worry about the future, at least for now. What about you, Joe?
That's what's up. I'm doing okay. I don't know if I ever mentioned it on the podcast, but I'm working on like a comic series.
I feel like you did, but like it was just like you didn't touch upon it.
Oh, well, yeah, I didn't want to give too many details away, but I am working on a comic series that I came up with myself. I've had a breakthrough.
Ooh,
you know, not
okay.
a big one.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm still trying to flesh out how I want like the first issue and all that stuff to go to hook the reader.
Yeah, okay. Like you got the intro started. Is that it?
A little bit, but I've come up with at least like 3-4 like possible story arcs.
Ooh, really?
That we can go through, because you know, like, you can't just rush into the main like problem of the series.
Yeah, of course.
You can introduce it in the beginning to give people like what's this? How's it gonna resolve itself? But you gotta give the people like a little bit of side arcs, you know, miniature arcs.
Maybe some background. Maybe dive deep into a character, sort of stuff. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ash didn't just become like number one. He had to assemble a team and fight some gym leaders.
Yeah, he had to wake up and get his Pokemon in the first place.
Exactly. So I made a little bit of headway with that.
Nice. That's good.
And I'm proud of it.
So for your listeners here, when can we expect the first issue?
Oh my God! Stop pressuring me, Victor. All right, you ask this every single time we meet up.
Jolin, it's just so good, and these people need to experience the amazingness that is this world.
I don't even have a name for the world. I don't even have a name for my main character.
Well, I mean, that's part of the intrigue, baby. We want to find out.
Yeah, but that's what I've been doing, aside from just playing video games and trying to stay sane. You know,
yeah.
Shadows in the walls.
Constantly being indoors, sort of stuff.
Yeah.
No, I get you. I feel like anybody listening to you right now could relate. I myself can too. That's why I was so happy to work this week.
Right?
Yeah, it's been crazy lately. So, you know, speaking of you know, being trapped inside, I'm gonna jump right into our first topic of the day, if you don't mind, Joe.
All right.
You know, since we're all locked indoors, you know, there could be times when, you know, it's too much. You know, you can't see your friends, you can't see your family, and you know, we're all human beings. We crave companionship, and therefore, without it, you might get lonely. So our question for the podcast today is, how do you combat loneliness?
God, I really want Markiplier to make more. This is a side tangent. I'll actually answer your question. I really want him to do like Grand Theft Auto roleplay again. I miss it.
Oh yeah, you told me a lot about how his roleplay in Grand Theft Auto was really good. I actually myself haven't seen it yet.
I know, I miss it. But how do I combat loneliness, you might ask? Well, if it's physical loneliness, I sit down at my desk and I open Spotify and I listen to the Jumblhoj boys.
Hey, that's how you do it.
At least for a little while, I forget that it's my own voice that I'm listening to.
and you just think of it as a friend.
Exactly. It's like, who's that asshole talking to Victor?
It's like, God, that guy that Jonah talks to is just so awkward sometimes. I can't believe he's friends with him.
Yep. But I don't like, obviously right now physical loneliness is kind of hard because we can't go out and see people, we can't go out and do stuff because of the quarantine.
Yeah, definitely.
Staying at home. But it helps if you can, like, you know, if you have somebody to reach out to, whether it be a significant other or a good friend or even just a family member, like, reach out to them, check up on each other, make sure, like, mental health's good. If you got a pet, you can always cuddle up with them.
Yeah. Oh, that's always helpful. That's good. Yeah. Is that what you do as well, Jordan?
Yeah, I go outside and I terrorize my dog.
Terrorize. I think you mean prepare him for life.
No, I like go outside and I go, Ollie, you want walkies? You want walkies? And then I just straight up go back inside the house.
Just give him hope like that. Oh man. I mean,
it's okay.
You were walking from the outside to the inside, so you got that.
He doesn't speak English. He doesn't know what walkies are. He just recognizes the high tone of my voice.
Yeah, you could actually be talking about like murder or something disgusting, and he'd still be happy about it.
Yeah.
That's...
But I think the more... Sorry, I'm just like going on jokes and sign tangents. I'm not answering your question.
No, that's fine. Go roll with it.
The emotional and the psychological loneliness, that's a little bit harder to answer.
Yeah.
As some of our listeners know, in high school I had a bad falling out with a friend, so I spent like a couple years working on myself.
Yep.
And it's gotten to the point where like, it's gotten to the point where like I can say I love myself and I like who I am.
Uh-huh.
So, and I've gotten comfortable just being with myself. So psychological loneliness isn't that hard for me because it's like I enjoy my own company. Like I make myself laugh. I think I'm great.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's kind of hard for me to answer. I mean, it kind of goes with the same thing, like just reach out to somebody or pick up a hobby, something to just distract yourself from the loneliness, I guess.
And honestly, I do agree with you when you do say that psychological loneliness is the toughest one, because the greatest obstacle when it comes to that is yourself. Like, not only do you feel like you're isolated, but it's like you're stopping yourself from reaching out and going, getting the help that you need or interacting with someone. You feel like at some point you probably deserve to be alone. It's like that's what you get for being who you are, which is not the proper response. Like, you shouldn't think that way.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't like. That's why I said it's hard for me to answer, because I did, spend time on myself.
Yeah, I get you.
I don't know. I mean, just having someone to reach out to it helps.
Even if it's like a stranger online, or honestly, even if it was a joke or not, like you said, going to a podcast, hopefully a podcast like ours, where we try our best to keep this conversation as friendly as possible, where it sounds like two friends chatting. Therefore, you could, jump in and feel like you are surrounded, or like that you have friends. Maybe, even if you are by yourself, you could still contribute. We're more than happy to hear some input from all our listeners out there.
It's, I mean, we check the comments like every day. Sticking with the whole quarantine or like the whole isolation stuff, I'm so glad that like this happened at this time in our history, because with the invention of the internet, you're never really alone. You can just reach out to somebody, you can watch a video, you can like fill an empty room with noise.
Yeah, exactly.
And it just makes me think, like, if I was like alive during the Spanish flu, which is like another once in 100-year pandemic level like flu, right?
Yeah.
Like, that is real loneliness. Like, you are isolated. You can't even call someone, because I don't think like phones were like a household item.
Yeah.
Like in 1912.
And honestly, I feel like the only thing I could come up with right now from the top of my head is like you could potentially like rely on your books that you might have around the house, if you had any to begin with. And even then, if you did have some, you probably already read them. So it must have been crazy to try and find, an escape from this isolation.
Yeah, versus like now, you can put a podcast on, you can watch a movie, you can watch some like Let's Player that you really like.
Exactly, or a streamer on Twitch, or maybe even you yourself go on online community and hopefully find someone that was willing to, play with you.
Yeah, or I mean, you could just like read a book. Reading is cool too.
Yeah. Oh, and again, because of the internet, reading is super easily accessible. You can find so many books out there that are for free. You don't have to buy them.
Yeah, I mean, the last kind of loneliness is like emotional loneliness. Like if you have like no companionship. Well, I mean, emotional kind of ties in with psychological. I guess I was thinking of like sexual loneliness.
Oh, I get you. Like intimate
You know, like
loneliness.
yeah, like you're not in a relationship or you don't have like a significant other or something. Kind of like your boy here. He's lonely because he says stuff. I was like, kind of like your boy here.
Oh,
but yeah, he's lonely because he says stuff like your boy here.
Oh man, well, you and me both, brother.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't help you there. That's something for you to figure out.
One potential, I guess, solution I could think up, and even then, I don't think it would help. The internet was invented for another reason.
That there is that.
Yeah, so that's always an option, but again, like I said, I don't know if it'll help. Everyone's different.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know, Victor. You got any other input? I feel like I said a lot.
No, yeah, you made good points. I agree with everything you said. When it comes to like physical loneliness, I guess like even if you don't, let's say you don't have a dog because you live in an apartment or a house that doesn't allow pets, or you yourself like don't feel like you have the resources to take care of a pet, there's also options for like plushies or pillows. It's like there's stuff and items that you could potentially purchase or even make yourself that could satisfy that physical loneliness of just being able to hug or cuddle something, feel like you could reach out and grab it.
Oh my god! Sorry.
No, go for it.
You get like a life size cutout of like Lady Demetrius or something
from Game of Thrones.
No, from like Resident Evil Village.
Oh, that's
where she's
name?
Like 9 feet tall. It's like something like that, like Lady Demetrius or like Lady Dematourus or something. I don't know how to say her name.
Yeah, no, I get you. I know who we're talking about.
But like everyone on the internet was going crazy over her. Especially, I mentioned Markiplier a lot. I've been watching a lot of Markiplier. But he was like going crazy, like head over heels for her.
Yeah, I think I saw the video you're talking about. Like I saw the thumbnail for it, and even the thumbnail alone was like, "Why didn't you guys tell me about this?"
I know. So, but it was just like originally I was gonna say you can get like a life size cutout of like Danny DeVito or something, but then I was like, Lady Dematourus is like 9 feet tall. That'll fill up a lot of space.
Yeah, there you go. See, just your life size cutout of your favorite star or character, whatever you need. There's options.
Yeah.
And I guess for the psychological loneliness, covered it pretty well, and I even chimed in speaking about the whole Twitch streamers.
Yeah.
And I guess the only thing I could add to it would potentially be a hobby. Not in a way like a hobby where you go out and bike ride or something like that, but or maybe spend money to buy train sets or whatever. And I'm not talking that type of hobby. If anything, I'm talking about like a hobby of creating. Like I guess that's what a lot of people did in the beginning of this pandemic, where I believe like early months of 2020, where there was a lot of people making bread for some reason. And I believe that reason was because of that, because of loneliness. Of course, another good argument would be boredom. When it comes to at least psychological loneliness, you could distract your mind a little bit by doing stuff like baking bread, drawing, picking up something that you yourself feel like you're not good at and giving it a shot. And hell, even if you still think you're not good at that hobby, you have so much time to perfect it or get better at it. And if you don't enjoy it, well, try another thing.
Yeah, and I agree.
And distracting your mind is a good reason, but it's not a it's a good solution, but it's not a permanent solution. It's like you said, being comfortable with yourself. I feel like it's a good permanent solution.
Yeah, it's just like putting a Band-Aid over it.
Exactly. And even though in previous podcasts, for those who actually like have heard our recent podcast, I did mention that because of my past, I personally wouldn't say I love myself. But I can't deny the fact that even as at a young age, I had always enjoyed my own company. I always laughed at my own jokes, no matter how dumb they were. I would always dance around in my own mind or sing, even if I believe I don't know how to sing or dance. But it's just those tiny things where it's like sing like no one's around to hear you, dance like no one can see you, that sort of stuff. It's like even as cliche or as like old as it sounds, it helps eventually. You know, it helps in a small way. If anything, it helps you to understand yourself a little bit. You know, you start seeing that, yeah, you know, I really don't enjoy dancing in general, whether I think I dance well or not. And hopefully, like Jolin said, it could potentially lead you down a path where you could be happy with yourself, love yourself, and just be so happy to spend so much alone time to discover who you really are and what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah, I think that's pretty important, to be comfortable with who you are and with your own presence.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
I feel like, you know, the stigma of society is we try so hard to act quote unquote normal, so that way we have a functioning society. You know, the rules and the rules that we all abide by in order to have a functioning society and have everything run smoothly. We tend to shun or even shame the abnormal and anything that doesn't abide by those rules. But and because of that, I feel like a lot of people forget that when you're alone, when you're in your own house, or when you're in a place that, you know, you're comfortable, that all that quirkiness, weirdness, you know, personality that you have, whatever you want to call it, it's like you're free to express it. Like, you don't have to abide by society's rules when you're by yourself. You know, it's like no one's around you, no one could shame you, and no one should shame you. And you shouldn't shame yourself just because of preset ideals that you grew up with, I suppose.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's that whole thing that, like, when you learn about survival tactics, there's like the rule of threes.
Yeah.
You know, like you can survive like 3 minutes without air, 3 weeks without water, like 3 months without food, and then it's like I think like three.
It's 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, and then 3 months without shelter.
Yeah, and I think like the one that people don't agree on, or that it's still like a rule of three, but it's like 3 years without like any kind of companionship.
Yeah.
Or
yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, which makes sense because we're social beings, you know. We need other people to kind of like function, I guess.
Exactly. And I mean, even then, it's like, if anything, it's embedded in our DNA because, you know, coming together as a community is what has helped us survive and evolve to the point where we're at right now.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
So, I don't know, take that as you will, but just I hope if you are lonely, I hope you're safe. I hope you have the resources to, you know, at least mitigate the loneliness. And if anything, like, we're here for you. You can listen to our podcast. You can email us, you know.
Yeah, interact with us. We'll gladly accept you, you know, and hopefully you do well. And if this loneliness is the cause because of the pandemic, you know, then just know that it'll be over soon. It's not going to be forever. It's not going to be for the rest of your life. Stick through it and you'll survive and it'll be over soon. Everything will be okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then what's our next topic, Jolin? Just to keep this train a moving.
I mean, it kind of goes with loneliness, but Victor, have you ever, you were at the club, you were, kind of dancing on the wall, having your little like cocktail with the feather and stuff because you're extra like that. And then some young thing comes over, asks you for a dance, but you have to politely decline because you're not feeling it.
Yeah.
That 7-layer burrito from the gas station is just not doing it.
Uh-huh.
So, we're talking about rejection. If you haven't gotten it.
Oh, if I have ever gotten it, or what do you mean?
if you've ever had to reject somebody, or you just have to politely decline the advancements of a young lady
Oh, okay.
or a young man, I don't know. It's 2021. Can do whatever you want.
So I could confidently say that I have never had to reject a young man, and if I did reject someone, then it was unknowingly. I didn't register flirtatious advancements. So because I guess I was so fixated on the fact that I was not interested in that gender, so therefore I didn't even consider that as a possibility. But anyways, answering your question, I believe I have a few times in my life.
All right.
I have, to be honest with everyone listening, I myself haven't really received much interest from the opposite sex or people that I would consider dating. So I haven't had many opportunities for rejecting someone, but the few that I can remember, there was one in middle school, I believe. No, sorry, even earlier than that. My goodness, I forgot about this one. It was in third grade, I believe.
Oh my god.
So
Victor.
So this one was intentional. Like I knew, so the story goes that in elementary school, I was a definite tryhard. I wanted to make my mother happy with showing her that I was doing good in school. So therefore, I tried my best to study and do well in school, pass the test, all this stuff, which got me the top spot in the class most of the time. And because of that, apparently, even if they didn't interact with me, even if they didn't talk to me, apparently I was known in the class because of that. Therefore, most, if not all, the girls in my class would find some interest in me. Whether it was just, oh, he's smart, or maybe even, oh, I would like to call him my boyfriend. There was this one girl that I never talked to. I kind of, to be honest, never really knew she existed because we never talked.
Oh.
And she one day, out of nowhere, just came up to me and was like, hey, I like you a lot. I think you're really cool, and I think you're very smart. And I was wondering if you like me too. And if you did, if you would be my boyfriend. And, God, I was so cold-hearted back then. I just straight up was just like...
kids.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't know. I had not learned how to let someone down gently by then.
I did not know how to politely decline the presence of a young lady.
Exactly. So I pretty much just... What happened?
No, nothing. Continue with your story.
Oh, so I pretty much just... literally, as soon as she finished with her, I guess, telling me her true feelings, I just stone-colded, like stone-faced, told her, no, I'm not interested in you. I honestly don't know who you are. And she was like, what do you mean? Like, I'm in the same class as you. I forgot her name. And I was like, I'm so-and-so. And I was like, oh yeah, I think I've seen you before. But, I mean, even then, we've never talked aside from now. So, I don't know you. So I don't want to be your boyfriend. And then I just walked away. And yeah, that was the first time I ever rejected someone.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the second time was unknowingly rejected someone. And it was in middle school. That was the one I was going to say first. And she was the friend of someone who I wanted to date. And I was being flirtatious with the girl I wanted to date and hanging out with her as much as I could, texting her and that sort. And I would, to be polite and be friendly, I would talk to that girl as well, because they were always hanging out together. Only until after we graduated or moved on from middle school did I find out that the friend actually liked me and that she spread a rumor saying that we were together. And that's why the girl that I actually wanted to date never accepted my advances or never actually, went out with me because she thought I was dating her friend already. And she thought I was a cheater or that I wanted to cheat on her friend. That sort of stuff. And when I found this out, it blew my mind because I was like, holy moly. I never saw her friend as a girlfriend, as an interest that way. So, I kind of unknowingly rejected her. You get me?
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, and as for the last one, that was in high school, and it was actually someone I dated for, I want to say, a semester, like half a year, and it was going well, and we actually had a pretty good, I can't really say relationship, but at least we had a good thing going.
Ah.
And she was a year older than us, so she graduated before us, and we broke up after she graduated. But there was no bad blood between us, so therefore, when I would see her, I would say what's up, and then we would occasionally still text each other. And I believe when I was in senior year, I already had another girlfriend, but I was still friends with my ex. And when there was one point where she hit me up and she was telling me about how she still thought about our relationship and how and if I was ever, in the same boat, right? If I ever thought of her. And I told her, I was like, yeah, of course, I think about you all the time because I see you as a friend. She told me, would you ever want to get back with me? And I told her maybe in the future because right now I have a girlfriend. And she, oh my God, she was so interested in me that she was willing to contact my current girlfriend at the time and ask her if she was willing to share me. Yeah, it humble brag, I guess, to some people, very weird to others. At the time, I was like, no, that's no. But because of that, that's another rejection that I had to cause. And even after I broke up with my current girlfriend at the time, we still talked, and she still wanted to get with me, but I rejected her again just because I felt like a relationship between us wasn't the smart thing to do. Like she had changed, I had changed. We weren't the same people that we were back when we were together. So it's just like, it's best if we move on.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so those are the 3 times I rejected someone without knowing and knowingly. What about you, Jolan? Yeah.
But Victor, you're forgetting the most important one.
What's that, Jolan?
It was when you had to deny Mary Bell's advancements at Cotillion.
Mary Bell was engaged to Rutherford B. Hayes. How can I accept her advancements?
That was later on, alright? Cotillion is when you... It's like you didn't even know what Cotillion is.
Isn't it a dance?
Cotillion, like, technically, it's like it's part of Southern culture where you raise young men and women to be like fine members of society by grooming them into being gentlemen and gentlewomen through like dances and informal dances.
So it's like a manner school.
Yeah, like you just teach them about higher society.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, my
Mary Bell had asked you for her hand to debut at her 15th cotillion, and you denied her. You said I could not because it was not her debutante.
What type of scoundrel would I be to accept the hand of a lady who has already promised her hand to another man? I would be a ruffian. I would be a scoundrel. I would deserve to be in the pigsty.
I don't know, man.
I could not accept.
It's a good thing we're not from the South. I don't know. I was trying to think of that word.
Like Southern... What?
I was trying to think of that word cotillion for a while. I had to look it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cotillion. Oh, okay. So Jolan, I went on this giant rant right now about my past rejections. What about you? Tell me about you. If you ever rejected anyone?
So I never actually rejected anyone. I was the one that was being rejected.
Okay.
But I did inadvertently reject someone by friend zoning the hell out of her.
Oh, damn! The tables have turned.
Tis I, the one that friend zoned.
All right. What happened there?
No. So basically, I had this friend. And ever since like 6th grade, people had been, whispering in my ears that she liked me, that she thought I was handsome, that she was, interested.
That she took a fancy to you.
Yes, she took a fancy for yours truly.
Yes.
But like I don't know, like in my early days, I don't know why I never put 2 and 2 together and just was like, she likes me, so if I ask her out, we would be together.
Yeah.
Like I never thought of that. Instead, when someone was like, "Oh, I think this girl likes you," I was like, "No way, my friend likes her," and then I would hook them up.
What? Really?
Yeah, that happened like once.
I thought it would be like the traditional, low self-esteem sort of stuff. Like, nah, you guys are just messing with me. She couldn't possibly like someone like me.
No, that was. I mean, that was in the back of my mind. After being told so many times that this girl liked me, I was like, maybe she does actually like me, even if I am like disgusting and dysmorphic.
Okay, damn.
I had a very low sense of self back then. So yeah. this we stayed friends from 6th grade all the way up until senior year. But the thing is, like, I would still get like people would still tell me like, "Oh, do you know that she likes you?" But she, like, in high school, she had only been single for like a year, and then because freshman year I hooked her up with a guy as well, and
okay.
And then like junior senior year she got asked out, so there was only like 1 year that like we could have potentially, but I still saw her as a friend, and I kind of liked somebody else.
Oh.
And like there's nothing against her. She was just not my type, I guess.
Yeah. You literally didn't see her as anything other than a friend of sorts.
Exactly. So that's why I just like friend zoned her. Like I only treated her as a friend. And when people would tell me like, "Yo, you can like, ask her out or, do something with her." Like I would always feel bad because like I felt like I was just playing with her, or, like toying with her emotions.
Like
so that's why I never did. Along. Yeah, that's why I never did anything. Like I feel like if I don't know, I don't want to dig myself in a hole. But yeah, I treated her as a friend. Like we were just friends. That's all we were, and nothing ever happened between us. And at this point, nothing will happen between us.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
I really don't see her like that.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you shouldn't feel bad if you do. I'm not saying you do. It's like it's normal. You can't force yourself to like someone, and
I mean, I think we're still like good friends. Like she's pretty honest with me. I'm pretty honest with her.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So that's
if anything, it's the
no. Go ahead.
Yeah. If anything, that's just a better relationship because it's like neither of you are getting hurt. You're not hurting her, and then you're not, I guess, quote unquote, wasting your time, sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Is that the only rejection you gave, Jolin?
I think so. That's the only one that comes to mind.
Damn.
Unless you're trying to tell me something, Victor, then just say it.
Yes. All right. Fine. In live recording, I shall reveal my emotions to you, Jolin. You've rejected me for years. This entire podcast has been a ruse to get closer to you, to finally ask you out, and hopefully one day you accept.
But how can I, a mere mortal, be in the presence of a god?
Oh, Jolin, you know exactly what to say. Oh, God. I could have finished that with a straight face. Oh, man.
It'd be like Eve eating the fruit all over again. It's a natural sin.
But it's fine, Jolin. It'll all be worth it once we're in the moment.
Will it, though?
It's worth the sin.
I don't know. Sins are pretty great.
What's an eternity in hell as long as you live in heaven in the moment?
I mean, I get an eternity of heaven. It's a pretty good trade-off.
I mean, you're not wrong. But
and if it's true what they say, and all dogs do go to heaven, I'll be reunited with all of my dogs.
That's true.
And then I can introduce them to each other, and then it'll be great.
That's fine, Jolin. All right, you made your point. I've been rejected. Let's move on then. Only so much hurt can a man take.
But honestly, that's all I can remember. I never had to like reject anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
Damn, that's kind of surprising. Just because of the fact that like I kind of surprised myself with remembering that I was even able to reject like 3 people because I never really thought anyone was interested in me enough to get rejected by me. And knowing you for as long as I have, I always thought that you had this way with talking with girls that I was sure that you were rejecting at least like 4 of them throughout middle school.
Man, I wish. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I mean, middle school.
To only hear about one.
Middle school is fine. I don't care about that. I had fun in middle school. It was great.
Yeah.
Did I get rejected in college? I didn't even ask anyone out in college.
You didn't?
No, not that I can. Oh wait, no. Okay, I got. Sorry, no one asked me out, or I never was like, no, I don't want to date you. But I did ask. I did ask somebody out in college, and I did get rejected.
Oh, what? I have not heard of that.
Yeah, I told you about this.
Can you tell me a little details about her?
Her name starts with a P.
Oh, yes. Okay, no. Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, yes. Oh, what about that girl that you unknowingly rejected?
But I've talked about this on the podcast.
Oh, okay. I mean, it still counts. Like, you don't have to tell the full story, but
it would have been like the third. Yeah, it does count. But I was me being, small brain, not knowing what was going on. I also inadvertently rejected her advances.
Yeah, I just remembered about that right now when you said college. I know.
Thanks.
Hey, that's what this topic's about, man.
Oh, you just made me remember my Minecraft girlfriend.
Jolin, you got a Minecraft girlfriend? And
no, she rejected me
right now. What?
I don't have. I didn't have enough emeralds. All right, she was just looking for my emeralds and my diamonds.
Jolin, I told you always gotta go straight with the diamonds. Don't lead with the emeralds, man. They're not worthy enough of the diamonds.
Are we not all sinners? Do we not all want goth Minecraft girlfriends?
thick goth girls for
we can build Minecraft. We can have a server together and build a world in our image.
Oh god. Yeah, it's no longer a metaphor of just you two being in a world of your own. You could actually create it exactly to your perfect design.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
That's all we had planned, really. I was hoping that, one of us was gonna go on a tangent. And there's some pretty good ones. There was Cotillion. That was nice.
Yeah, fucking just had to gaslight me and just fucking throw me under the bus right now and just reveal to everyone that I rejected Abigail's advances in Cotillion.
Oh my god. Her name was not Abigail, it was Maribel.
Well, that's how little I cared, okay?
Wow.
You just gotta keep fucking making
She was
me
a
look bad.
fine young lady. She was gonna inherit, the Bell sour cream factory and products. Oh, you're not good enough for sour cream money, huh? It's not to your taste. You're a fresh cream, sweet cream kind of man.
Everyone in the business knows that barbecue is where the money really is. Why would I waste my time with sour cream?
That's dirty money, all right? Where do you think they get those pigs from? They get them from North Carolina, not from Charleston. Oh, actually, Charleston is in. They get them from South Carolina. They don't get them from Charleston. They don't get them from other cities in North Carolina. What's up? How you doing?
'Twas not my fault, Jolin. Her father hated me. What was I to do? Run away, ride on a motorcycle, and take her away from her life and family and her fortune? Take her away from a man that could give her the life that I could never give her?
Yeah, no, you could have taken her to your empire of real estate in Savannah.
That wasn't even... It was not even an empire at the time. It was just a tiny little store that I bought on a whim. It wasn't even the empire that it is today, Jolin. God.
But it was enough. It was enough.
Well, I didn't know it was going to become an empire, and I couldn't do that to Mary Beth.
You could have had real estate and sour cream money.
If I took her away with me, her father would have cut her off. What would she have done? A beautiful goddess like her, who deserves
her father
the best
was
in
senile
life.
On his deathbed, and she's an only child, Victor. She would have inherited it anyways.
Not with her evil stepmother. That lady always wanted all the money to herself. She would have stopped at nothing to make sure she inherited that fortune.
But with an act of true love, you could have swayed her frozen heart.
Man, yeah. Jolin.
That's right. I was a Disney kid.
I was trying to come up with like you right. But I couldn't say anything.
All right, did we buy enough time? We're at the 45-minute mark. I think that's long enough.
Yeah. All right. Well, sorry if it's a little shorter than usual, or like maybe not as jam packed as we tend to have them, but nonetheless, we still hope you guys enjoyed it. Like we mentioned earlier before, we hope you consider us as a friend, and that you know that you're not alone. Comment down below. Let us know if you want to talk. You could DM us on Instagram, and we're here for you guys. And we really appreciate you, and thank you so much for joining us. Jolin, any last remarks or info? Or
I guess you're never really alone. If you need to reach out to someone, then just reach out. Even if you feel like you're annoying them, chances are you probably aren't. They're probably just as alone as you are. So and especially now, like everyone needs all the help they can get. And we do appreciate all of you listening. If you got in this far, hopefully you enjoyed our little improv about cotillion. Put a smile on your face, hopefully. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're on Anchor and Spotify, hit that heart, hit that follow, do what you do, and we'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.
Stay beautiful.